India versus Australia is the 2023 World Cup final. That's right, Australia have just qualified as the finalist for the World Cup to play India in Ahmedabad at the Narendra Modi Stadium on Sunday. The Australians have beaten the South Africans yet again in a semi-final and will meet India in the final. But it was a nervous chase. Australia just about scraping home by 3 wickets, even though the South Africans had just scored 212. So we will have a repeat of the 2003 World Cup final on November 19th. Then it was Australia who thrashed India. This time, it's time for revenge. We took revenge against the Kiwis in Mumbai yesterday. It's now time for the Kangaroos to face Indian power. Okay, joining us now is the one and only Sunil Gavaskar. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Gavaskar. No surprise, India versus Australia. One team wins 10 in a row, the other 8 on the bounce. The best two teams qualifying for the final in your view, sir?
You could say that, yes, definitely. Because both the teams, India in particular, were absolutely superb in the group stage, where they won all their 9 matches, and then they won the semi-final in style as well. And Australia, which stumbled at the start, they lost to India in their first match, but then they came back strongly to win some games from pretty impossible situations. So the best two teams in the finals for sure, no question about it.
We'll come to those finals in a bit, but do you sense that this Australian team, while doing remarkably well in winning 8 on the bounce, is on paper at least possibly not as strong as the team of 2003 or 7, which won the World Cups, or indeed 2015? To that extent, would you say on paper, India the favourites?
India certainly the favourites, the way they have played. But the Australians can never be written off, because what we saw the other day from Glenn Maxwell as well, in sheer extreme physical discomfort, and yet the manner in which he played, didn't give up. There were occasions when he was perhaps thinking of going off the field because of the fact that he couldn't stand up. But the love for the country, the love to try and win something big for the country, made him go on, and that is something that you can never discount as far as the Australians are concerned. When it comes to playing for their country, they will do everything. So I do believe that this will be a great finals because both the teams are now teams which will not give up at all.
There's talk of momentum, Mr. Gavaskar, always in big finals. India's had momentum really from day one when we beat the Australians in that big match in Chennai. And that really seemed to propel the Indian team forward. When you play a final, does that matter that you've beaten a team in the round robin? I remember you beat the West Indies in the round robin at Old Trafford and then, of course, won the title. Does that psychologically, does that give the Indians an edge, the fact that we've beaten the Australians earlier in the tournament and therefore maybe have a bit more momentum?
Definitely does. Because remember also the manner in which the Indian team recovered. They had lost 3 wickets for only 2 runs, and the way they recovered and went on to win. Eventually they won with the match quite easily, with a few overs to spare as well. So that will certainly give them the confidence that they've beaten this team. And so clearly when they enter the field on the 19th of November, they'll be full of beans. They'll be full of confidence that they can do it again.
Particularly because the Australians seem to really struggle, Mr. Gavaskar, today against the South African spinners. And you'd believe that the Indian spinners are even better there. There seems to be a wariness when the Australians play spin, and we saw that in today's game.
Yes. You have to say, though, that the Eden Gardens pitch had a little more turn in it than what we will probably get at Ahmedabad. The Ahmedabad pitch is generally a good pitch to bat on, so there won't be that much of turn and help for the spinners. But yes, there has been a sort of weakness, if you might call it, against the spinners because not many Australians use their feet to go down the pitch, and that has certainly hampered their batting. So yes, India would be tempted to bring in Ashwin as well.
So is there something we should be fearing of the Australians, apart from the fact that you said they play the big matches well? Is there a player or a particular aspect of the game that India should look at closely when we do a match-up with the Australians?
They never say die spirit. They will fight till the last ball. No match against the Australians is won till the final run is scored or the final wicket taken. So India will have a fight on its hands, no question about it. And the same can be said about the Australians. The Australians will have a fight on their hands because this Indian team is very, very keen to win this cup. They have also shown in this tournament that they will fight, like we saw in the semi-finals with the partnership between Mitchell and Williamson, looking as if it was going to win the game for New Zealand. They never ever showed any nervousness. There were no dropping of shoulders. They believed in themselves that it was just one wicket that could make the difference, and that's what happened.
Just a word about the South Africans, so near yet so far yet again. Is that psychological or just the fact that they got perhaps the worst of the conditions when it looked like drizzling and there were grey skies, so they struggled in that first crucial hour?
Well, I think then they made a mistake. If there was a bit of drizzle and if there was a bit of overcast conditions, they should have, with their four-man pace attack, they should have taken the fielding option. That they didn't tells you that maybe they were so stuck into believing that no, they have to bat first. Sometimes, when teams start to believe that is their only strength, then that can also become their weakness, as we saw, because the Australian new ball bowlers used the conditions brilliantly.
There, Mr. Gavaskar. I just want to go to Anirban in Kolkata, where, of course, Indian fans, the city of joy, and they must be relishing the prospect, Anirban, that it's going to be India versus Australia, because as Mr. Gavaskar said, at the end of the day, the best two teams. Is there anybody out there who believes anyone other than India can win this cup?
Everybody, Rajdeep sir, everybody is believing that, started believing that India could lift the World Cup this time. And also, right now, I am just standing in front of the Eden Garden Stadium. And you can see, if you see the scenario of the Eden Garden Stadium, the people there are all supporting South Africa because they are saying that South Africa is the easy team. But they are also supporting Australia as they are stating that they want the revenge of 2003 World Cup right now. Here is the Indian fans who are cheering. You can see they are not getting me any place. The people over here, the fans, all are cheering for India, and they are confident enough that India could lift the World Cup this time. I will try to have some words with them. The bunch of fans with me. Bhai, अब क्या लग रहा है? Australia is a hard contender in final right now.
Not at all. India. It will be 2020. It will be 2003 Badla. It will be the revenge of 2003.
Well, everyone is saying Dada ka badla. As we all know, the Prince of Kolkata, Saurav Ganguly, was the captain on 2003, and it has happened in South Africa. And right now, the people have started believing already that India could lift the World Cup on Sunday, and after that, there will be a massive celebration all over India as well as in Kolkata. Rajdeep sir.
Okay.